Refurb looks like 50k profit. After we run the numbers, it's a completely different story. If you watched the last video on Refurb Finance and thought, okay, but what does this look like in a real deal? This is that video. I'm going to tear down a full refurb case step by step, the exact numbers, how I'd finance it, the lender pack I'd build, and where most people would quietly blow themselves up. By the end, you'll know exactly how I'd structure this deal, and you can steal the checklist for your own projects. If you like seeing real numbers instead of vague theory, hit like so I know to make more of these. Let's get into it. Chapter 1, the deal snapshot. Let's set the scene. So imagine this is on Rightmove or at an auction. 3-bed terrace in the Midlands. Guide price 190 grand. Needs a full internal refurb. Kitchen, bathroom, rewire, plaster flooring, cosmetics. No structural changes, no loft, no extension. Agent says done up. These go for around 260 to 270 grand. Most beginners stop there. Pros don't. They ask, well, what's the real GDV? What does the refurb actually cost? What does the finance do to my profit? So we're going to run all of these. As we do this, think about your own deals and mentally swap in your numbers. Now, if you've got a specific refurb deal you want me to break down in a future video, comment deal review with the basics below. Chapter 2, running the numbers. So let's start with the maths. That decides if we even care about this project. So let's assume the purchase price, 200 grand. You outbid the guide. Stamp duty, legals, and miscellaneous. Total in, purchase 200, cost 8 grand, refurb 45, contingency 7, finance and holding 15, all in cost 275k. Now, realistic GDV, not fantasy. You check sold prices and land on 310 as a believable exit. So GDV 310 minus 275 all in is 35k profit. So the question now is 35k enough margin for you to risk and spend time on this? For some people, yes. For some, no. Change just two numbers. Refurb goes 10k over. Market softens 5%. GDV is now 295 grand. So the new profit, 295 grand minus 275 grand plus 10k equals 10 grand. That's the razor's edge most people are walking without realizing it. And this is why I push you to model pessimistic versions, not just the pretty one. Chapter 3, how I'd finance this. Now let's start layering the finance on top. For this kind of light to medium refurb, I'd normally structure it as short-term bridging to buy and do works, then sale or refinance into a term product. Here's the example. Purchase, 200k. Lender funds 75% of purchase, which is 150. You put in 50 plus refurb and fees. If you've got the track record and the right lender, you might get some of the works funded too, but let's stay conservative and assume you fund the refurb. By bridging instead of trying to shoehorn a buy-to-let at the start, because the property probably doesn't meet a standard lender's condition rules today. Bridging lets you buy ugly, add value, exit clean. On the exit, if you're selling, your focus is timing. Get the refurb done. List correctly. Don't be greedy on price. If you're refinancing, your focus is on ICR and product selection. Stress-tested rent versus interest at the lender's stressed rate. Key point. So lenders aren't just looking at profit. They're looking at their risk. Clean, believable numbers plus a clean exit, and that's how you calm them down. Chapter 4, building the lender pack. Address and short deal name, purchase price, refurb, total in, GDV and exit behind it, loan amount, term, LTV, the exit, sailed backed by X sold comps or refi to X product, ICR passes at Y, your experience in any previous projects. Behind that, in order, memorandum of sale, auction details, title pack, schedule of works and itemized builder quotes. Before photos and your planned spec. GDV evidence, sold comparables and addresses with dates. Exit evidence, letting agent opinions or product screenshots, stress test calcs. Your personal SPV docs and proof of funds. Most people throw all of this into random PDFs with random names and expect the underwriter to play detective. Then they're surprised when their case sits on a pile for 2 weeks. A neat, logical pack says, I'm not a headache, I'm a business, and lenders price and prioritize you accordingly. If you want a plug and play lender pack checklist and a one-pager template, I put a free download in the description. Use it to build your own file for the next deal. Chapter 5, what I'd change on this deal. Back to our example. Now, at a 35 grade profit on a base case and 10k when things go wrong, personally, I'd be trying to fix that before I offer. So here are the options. Push harder on purchase price, tighten the refurb where it doesn't hurt GDV, or just walk and find a deal with more upside and less ways to die. So that's the real skill, not falling in love with the project because you've already imagined the after photos. Your edge isn't swinging a hammer, it's saying no to deals where the risk-adjusted return is rubbish. If you find this breakdown useful, do 3 things for me. Hit like so more people stop buying bad refurbs. Subscribe for the next video. I'll go deeper on how to structure your first refurb so you don't need to be rich or reckless. Drop a comment with case study if you want me to analyze your numbers live in a future video. Numbers first, emotions second. That's how you survive long enough to win.